Courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. Maya Angelou. June's Pipbuck was hanging by a cable, attached to the terminal of the door to residential. It was covered in her blood, making me at least glad that she was not alive when they mutilated her leg to get to it. My only guess was that Thorn had used it to open the door, and left it for her troops to use. After using the Pipbuck to open the door myself, I hoofed June's Pipbuck into my saddlebags. It would never have felt right to leave it there. In my upper vision, the icon for June's Pipbuck 3100 popped into my vision for a short time before fading. Residential was quiet. I saw no signs of any fighting, so I hurried to the atrium. My hoof steps seemed to echo loudly, as though I was being mocked with every noise. Thorn's troops would hear me coming long before I would see them on my EFS, but I ran harder, thinking I could outrun an echo. Gliding to a stop at the atrium door, I hit the button to open it. I didn't even wait for the door to finish opening. Rolling under the door to the atrium, my chest pounding, lungs burning, all four legs refusing to stay still. Lifebeat! We need Dr. Lifebeat now! The atrium was still the most decorations from the party earlier, but the room was eerily quiet. No music or foals at play. There were a few ponies sitting on one of the benches. Candy Pop, Cloud Bank, and Emerald Fields. In the middle of the room, Prancer Dancer was sweeping up confetti. Was being the main word, as she dropped her broom when I shouted. Hello, Trot. Prancer Dancer rushed over to me. What happened? You're covered in blood. Yeah, that's not important. It's underbrush. She needs Lifebeat right now. She's going to die if Lifebeat doesn't give it to her in time. My head moved around, frankly, hoping I would see him. Where is he? Prancer took a step back. What happened, Slow Trot? It's, I took a deep breath. She's been shot. Real bad. The healing potions can only do so much. I lifted my Pipbuck to her. Still have the information from the medical scan. It's on here. Look! My leg was pulled away from Prancer with magic. Let me look at that. Candy Pop looked intently at the Pipbuck screen. What? What the fuck? She looked up at me, looking scared. She has 24 bullet wounds and a severed leg? Cloudbank and Emerald Field also joined in. I didn't have time to explain everything. Every second was a second I could lose. Let's get Lifebeat now. Take him to the stable door, 3rd floor. Prancer Dancer nodded. Candy Pop, you go on ahead. I'll get Lifebeat. She was off. Her panicked running was far more skilled than mine was. Candy Pop looked frailty around before taking a deep breath and galloping off. What's wrong? They said they were holding every pony for questioning. They wouldn't do that. Emerald Fields had a worried look, almost panicked. Is June okay? She's okay, right? My heart sank. My mouth became like a desert as I spoke. Ironbuck, pull out June's Pipbuck. The Pipbuck floated out of my saddlebags, still covered in blood. Sorry. I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. Emerald Fields took it. They had not just lost their boss, they had also lost a friend. I tried to give the Pipbuck to Cloudbank, but he just shook his head, pushing it back to me. So I put it back into my bag. That was it. I delivered the message. The ponies that could help Underbrush were off to save her life. Laying on the ground, I tried to catch my breath. The full extent of how hard I pushed myself finally catching up with me. My lungs hurt. Every breath I took, my body was sour all over. And even though the bullet hole was closed, some of the pain was still there. After a few minutes passed, Emerald woken up. Taking a quick look at me, she turned her head away. Said everything will be fine. That they had StableTec's approval to be here. She even gave candy to the foals before asking them to be sent to the rooms. They were only here for healing herbs. Every pony else would not be involved, past being asked a few questions. You're talking about Thorn, right? The Admiral? She nodded. Thorn was the one who killed June. She winced. June told her to leave the stable. that Thorn didn't have any authority here. So Thorn shot her. And then she lied about being let in by June. Cloudbank growled as he spoke. Emerald Fields got up to her hooves. Right. We can't let her get away with this. The stable needs to be warned and organized. We also need a plan to capture the Admiral. You said the stable door was sealed, right, Slowtrot? I nodded. There is a possibility that it could be opened from the other side. We need a plan for that. Cloudbank flew up to the round window that overlooked the atrium. The best place to start is the Overmare's office. The comm system there is contented to every part of the stable. I had another message to deliver, so we were off to the Overmare's office. Like what Underbrush had said, we have the home advantage. We were going to use this. This is Emerald Fields. Due to the extreme circumstances, I will be directing the stable through the intercom systems. The stable is now under security level red. This is not a drill. The stable is now under security level red. All non-essential personnel, please get to safety and lock the doors once you and your others are safely inside. I repeat, the stable is now under security level red. All non-essential personnel, please get to safety and lock the doors once you and others are safely inside. Once again, this is not a drill. When it is safe, we will give the all clear, but until then, keep your doors locked. After getting into the Overmare's office, the plan was to use the intercom to contact Healing Herbs and warn her about Thorn. But like with security, we could not get through the Labs D. Our only option was to get in contact with a member of the senior staff, and have one of them become the acting Overmare till we could regain control and contact Healing Herbs. It didn't take us long to find out all the members of the senior staff were in Labs D with Healing Herbs. So the stable was without leadership, as it was under threat by the Navy. Cloudbank filled me in to why this was a big problem for the stable, as the senior staff had the codes to opening and closing the stable on their Pipbuck. Security may be able to close the door, but the Navy could still hack into the door's controls and open it. If a member of the senior staff stepped in, they'd be able to lock out the other side of the door controls, ensuring that the Navy could not get them open again. Emerald Fields took charge of the situation, and after her announcement, the intercom became nearly clogged with researchers wanting to know what was going on. She was able to get some order among them, but there was a few researchers with argumentative at the least. Well, if we can get at least one of them back up here, then we don't have to worry about the Navy getting back in, right? Cloudbank nodded. We also need one of them to open the door if they fails to get in, and further lockdowns the door. Without their code is a bad situation. Well, this is StableTec. You guys have a way around this problem. Cloudbank sighed. Give us time, maybe. But if they open that door, it's not going to matter. So, why don't we just get them? Cloudbank raised an eyebrow at my suggestion. Can't we just send some ponies down to Labs D? He froze for a few seconds. It can't be that simple. I had to think for a few seconds on that. Thorn was a known threat, but they didn't know about Probiter. Not. We're going to need some more security to go down guns. He shook his head. Send them off to battle? I don't like it. Another thought crossed my mind. If they go down there, what happens if the senior staff is all dead? Then what do we do? Emerald tapped at her desk to get her attention. Then grab their Pipbucks. If you can at least get their Pipbucks up here, I should be able to get the code out of them. It's just going to be faster if we get one of them up here unharmed. Also, I found a less violent solution to subduing the soldiers. Lab C's told me about a knockout gas that they developed. If we send some down to Labs D, we should be able to get the staff out without resorting to violence. Sounds like a good idea. Then we have a plan. I'll head down to Labs D and pick up the gas. Cloudbank jumped in front of me. Wait, you're not doing anything like that. They got security just for this sort of thing. Now I sighed. Most of them are dead. Anyway, do you think they are going to just leave or believe Emerald? I'm betting that they think this is a prank. I think that if it's a prank, if I didn't see it myself, Cloudbank backed up. If I do go down there, looking the way I do, then they might be a lot less willing to argue. Emerald Field cleared her throat. Also, we're going to need June's Pipbuck to open the elevator door. With the stable in lockdown, only senior staff can move between floors. June may not have been part of the senior staff, but her Pipbuck is what theirs were based off of, so the doors will at least open for it. And that was it then. Even if they could get every pony organized, some ponies still needed to go down there and open the door. Damn it. Cloudbank rummaged through his pockets, pulling out 2 devices. Here, take these. An ear bloom and a broadcaster. This way, we can stay in contact with you while you're down in Labs D. Get out of my way. I can't believe I'm agreeing with you. Now, go before I change my mind. Testing, testing. Can you hear me, Slow Trot? Cloudbank came through, mostly clear on my left ear. I can. And you're right. Elevators are offline. I'd pressed the button over 10 times, and not even a beep. Thought so. But they hacked the elevator to keep it locked. Then you have to take the stairs. Either go left or right. We have 2 sets of stairs that take you down to Labs A. The stairs only take you between the labs, but they keep the stairs close together. So getting to Lab C should not take long. What about Labs D? I don't know why, but it's elevator only. But don't worry about that. Just get down to Lab C. Galloping down the hallway to my left, I eventually found the stairs. The door to them were locked, but with June's Pipbuck, it didn't take long to open. The light in the stairwells was dim, and the air was a little stale. It was also so quiet that I could hear my heartbeat every time I stopped. So you're going to fight? I don't think that's a good idea. Just stick to the plan they made. It should work. Fantastic. The murder pony in my head was back. I need to stop her. You know that she'll kill you. And as former part of her, I, now part of you, don't much like that idea. Though gassing her does sound like a solid plan, but I'm betting on her killing you in the end. And what should I do then? Asking advice from the murder pony only made me feel stupid. First off, call me Fragment. Murder Pony does sound like an awesome name, but only if I was a wrestler. Second, we can always have some pony else do it. Or better yet, get the teleportation spell from Labs B. All we're going to need to do is get some coordinates far from the stable, the power for the spell, and poof, we're free. The door at the end of the stairwell was in reach. Or we can just gas Thorn and stay safe here. True, but you forgot about that nightmare bitch. I doubt this stable is anywhere near safe. Didn't forget about Probeater. She was what had me the most worried. I opened the door to Labs A, doing my best to ignore Fragment. Taking a quick look around, there were a few ponies standing around the open room. I held at them to get them somewhere safe, of which I think all the blood on me was enough to get them running. I pressed on the broadcaster. Cloudbank, looks like we have a few ponies who are still out and about. Don't worry about that. Emerald's taking care of it. He's relaying the information to all the research leaders she can get in contact with. Just focus on getting to Lab C. Open the door for the ponies there, and return here. Right. Moving on. Turning off the broadcaster, I entered the second stairwell that connected Labs A to Labs B. Okay. Before I start thinking I'm going crazy, how are you even talking to me, Fragment? Go ask a pony that knows their shit about souls. But if I were to guess, and this is more you guessing, it probably has to do with the memory from the Pipbuck. There is more to that than what you've seen. Enough that I know that the memories are not yours, but mine. Also, with Thorn being nearby, that also might be what is bringing me to the surface. That sounds like it makes sense. To you it does, and that's because you're talking to yourself. I'm probably more you than her now, so my explanation is more just you rationalizing what's going on. Fragment was starting to really irritate me. Well, be irritated all you want, but if you are really doing this, then you're going to need some guns. The door to Labs B was in sight. I had to agree with her on that. I needed a gun if I was going to go anywhere near Thorn. There was no way I was not going down there. I had to at least have an idea of what might be waiting for us. Muscador opened the door after a fifth time I pressed the buzzer. Y'all better have a good reason for being a nuisance. He looked at me a bit confused. I thought you were good as gone. Taking a deep breath, my heart pounding and my body shaking a little. Mr. Musketball, I need to borrow a gun from you. He huffed. What you gonna do with it? Shoot some pony? Only if I can't avoid it. I'm going to say more, but I held my tongue. Kid, bringing a gun makes it far harder to avoid a fight. More so if the others have guns as well. I sighed. I didn't have time for this. So I showed him June's Pipbuck. I cleaned off the blood in the Overmare's office, but it still had the same effect. They already killed June. Most of the security and underbrush may never walk again. And the fight's already started. Musketball took a step back. Damn zebras. Let me get my rifle. It's not the zebras. The Equestrian Navy. He froze in place. They branded us as traitors, working with the zebras. It's a lie, but if Thorn kills everyone, he can make it all the truth. And how do you know this? Musket raised an eyebrow. I took a few slow breaths. I had to make the explanation quick. If I said anything about the Pipbuck 2600 being Thorn's, or her being an assassin, it would take more time to explain than I had to waste. The Navy pony said it a few times in security. I think they want to claim the stable and call themselves heroes for doing it. And they killed June for this? I nodded. So you have a plan? I nodded again. Underbrush was able to seal off the stable. The Admiral's gone down to Labs D. If I can get some knockout gas from the into the ventilation, then we should be able to capture her. I see. I remember hearing from Easy Fix about how easy it was to gas a stable. He turned around and trotted deeper into the room. Take what you used before. No use learning how to use a new gun right now. He pulled out a few metal boxes from under the table and some belts. Musketball offered to put a battle saddle on me, but didn't push when I refused. He instead strapped a holster onto me, one of the battle rifles, and another for the .45 auto pistol. The Pipbuck called them StableTec Battle Rifle and StableTec .45 pistol. I was also given 6 clips of .308 and 3 magazines of .44, with enough ammo to refill them. It all felt odd to me. I didn't stick around after I was given the guns and ammo, but I did ask him to look out for the security ponies if they needed guns and ammo as well. The stairwell to Labs B to C seemed to be even darker than the last stairwell. You do know that unless you catch them off guard, Thorn's troops are going to kill you faster than you can pull a trigger? The vote of confidence fragment. Do you have any other memory of Thorn? It's mostly a mess, but yes, some. The memories that are clear to me are the ones that you've seen, the rest are faded and blurry. But I can piece them together enough to be not you. It is strange. What is? The more I clearly remember the memory, the more I fade myself. Have you gained a new memory from the Pipbuck? No, I only have the 2. Have you been on a boat before? No, well, no. One time as a filly, I was a pickpocket rich. Wait, no, that's not right. Not so. That was the last memory I reconstructed. Now it's yours. And you said that you can fade every time you remember something clearly? Yes. I can only guess that I'm being absorbed by you. Fragments of memory and souls rejoining in a new body. Well, stop it! I may like to get closer to that mare, but not in that way. And not with Thorn. Fragment giggled. It was creepy as it was in my head. I got no control over it. I will remember and be absorbed. Just cross your hooves that none of the memories involve sex. Though it would be fun to see you squirm. Well, I was done talking to Fragment about any of this, and bolted the rest of the way down the stairs. Waiting for me were the techs and the security ponies down in Lab C. Emerald Fields had pulled through and gotten the ponies organized. Hi? Right. Almost forgot I was no action pony. I have the Pipbuck you need. They whispered among themselves, looking worried and confused. One of the security ponies stepped forward. Like she wasn't lying. Unless that's dried jam you have all over you, and toy guns strapped on you. No, not jam. Blood. And Musket, let me borrow some guns. I'm going down to help you. I looked over to one of the techs who had a metal box next to her. Is that the knockout gas? The tech looked at the box, then back at me. Yes. We just need to install it in the air purification in Labs D and turn it on. After a minute or two, every pony in Labs D will be asleep. The security pony snorted. After that, we can work on capturing the invading ponies and remove them from the stable. I pulled out the Pipbuck from my leg and gave it to one of the techs. Taking it, the tech trotted off down the hall and to the elevator. My job, I was originally set down here for, was done. Now the rest was personal to me. From what I could see, Lab C was quite different from the other two labs. Everything was clean and white, and most of the rooms I could see were filled with test tubes, a rainbow of color under glass for experiments unknown to me. It was like the old science fiction movies that had come down to life here. I wonder what kind of experiments were going on down here, but with the mission at Hoof, I didn't ask them. Not long after the tech plugged the Pipbuck into the terminal connecting the elevator, the doors opened. A strong wind came from the door, surprising me and a few others, but we all quickly regained our composure. So, I was wondering, how are we going to get down? A harness was tossed near my hooves. By rope. You put that on and we will descend down. 4 security ponies, 2 tech ponies, and the gas were all outfitted with a harness, so I quickly put on the harness as well, but had to get some help. When every pony was ready, 2 ropes were hooked onto the inside of the elevator shaft and thrown down into it. Hello, Trot. Can you let Emerald Fields know that we're sending the gas to Labs D? Nodding, I turned away and pressed the button to the broadcaster. Cloudbank, they're about to head down to Labs D with the gas. Static filled my left ear. Good. Now get back up here. We might need... Turned off the broadcaster and waited for a few seconds. Got it. I'll let you know if anything changes down there. Turning back to the others, they nodded to themselves and turned their attention to the elevator shaft. Each one clipped a device to the harness. It was a rope that connected the harness with a metal part dangling at the end. 2 of the security ponies clipped the metal end of the rope in the shaft, jumping into the shaft soon after. With a click, a unicorn attached me to one as well. This is a magical rappelling tool. We use it to descend to the same speed in every pony else. You just need to attach it to the rope and jump. I looked at the rappelling tool. It seemed simple enough. Thanks. The others had just attached the box with the gas to both the ropes and pushed off. The other 2 security ponies were nowhere to be seen. I guess they were already in the shaft. The 2 techs were next to jump in the shaft, though they seemed far more hesitant to do it. I looked over to the shaft, both above and below the dark pit. Click. The unicorn attached the rappelling tool to one of the ropes. I looked back at her and nodded. She lifted June's Pipbuck in her magic, placing it back into my saddlebags. I gave her a smile. Sitting at the edge of the shaft, I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. I came this far. I wanted to go back. I wanted to crawl into a bed and pretend to sleep. I wanted this to be a bad dream. Sliding off the edge, the rappelling tool stopped me from falling. Instead, I slowly descended into the darkness. When the elevator doors closed, it felt like I was smothered in darkness. But unlike with Probeater, it was warm, and the air seemed to pulse. Below me, I could see the lights of Pipbucks turned on, illuminating the 6 ponies that had gone down before me. So I fiddled with mine till I found the Pipbuck lamp function, lighting up the area around me with a soft glow that only seemed to extend 2 legs far. There was a little chatter at first, but every pony quieted down after a security pony told them to. There may have been a possibility of the Navy ponies hearing us if we were too loud. With the dark surrounding me and every pony talking in whispers, I half expected Proby to appear and taunt me. There was nothing. I didn't like it. Each creak and shadow made me jump. Everything started to blur together as time went on. There was no color. The sound was a constant hum, and the air pulsed. Mr. Slowtrot, I see this is the 4th time you've been here this year, and the 9th time in the last 4 years. Wait, what? Are you currently still employed at any of these jobs you were placed at? We do have others that need work. I was back in the job placement office, but I was still hanging from the rope. There was no color to the room, and the mayor, who still did not look at me, seemed to have melted a bit. Looking down, I could still see the others. Hallucination. I was ready for Probiter to attack. This is just an odd way to do it. Mr. Slowtrot, if you're just going to sit there and not respond, I'll have to ask you to move. We have other ponies in need of work. I looked back at the office worker to see that she had actually looked at me. But she had no eye. Creepy. Her face started to melt into wax, it falling upwards into the darkness above me. Green flame erupted from her now exposed skull, turning the white bone black. The walls behind her also caught fire, bathing everything around me in a sickly green glow. Crumbling, the walls gave way to the city of Applewood, also burning in green flames. I don't think this is hallucination. Slowtrot. Not entirely. Looking up, I could see Fragment, now looking more like me and far less like Thorn. And what is it? If you don't know, then I don't know. But, can you feel it in the air? Electric. Pulsing. Maybe a lot like magic. We should ask a unicorn. She dropped and landed on my back. There was no weight to her, but I almost yelped when she did it. Reaching out with her hoof, she swiped at the burning city. It all broke apart like wet paper in water. Just like that. Strange. Eh! The rope swayed, knocking me against the wall. Get them out! Get them out! Wheatgrain, get a hold of yourself! Sweet Celestia, I can feel them inside of me! I hit the wall again, as the rope moved back and forth. Get away from me! They'll get into you as well! Wheat, just calm down! Wheat! Wheat! Damn it, Wheat! I could hear the distant sound of something hitting the bottom, echoing past me. Way to go. At least it was fast, I think. She pointed down at one of the techs below me. You see what I see. Or to be accurate, I see what you see. And I see a mare about to take a dive as well. Shit. Hey, don't do it! Somebody stop her! She fell, hitting the box, and was caught by one of the security ponies below her. We got her! Damn, what in Tartarus is going on here? What indeed? No pony answered him. Quiet darkness returned, almost like it was mocking us. Whatever was making the hallucinations had fortunately stopped for the rest of the trip down. Sadly, Wheatgrain's mangled corpse was what greeted us at the bottom. His back broken from falling onto a horizontal beam in the elevator, ripping his skin open and forcing some of his insides out of his mouth. One of the techs threw up almost as soon as she saw the body. The other was out cold. She hit her head on a hard box, and probably would not wake up anytime soon. Two of the security ponies opened the door to get into the elevator. The light from the inside bathed the area around us, nearly blinding me. Dropping the rope through the door, the box went in first. The two security ponies soon vanished after, followed by a third security pony, holding the unconscious tech. When the other tech was ready to move on, after ejecting everything from his stomach, he jumped below. I pressed onto the broadcaster. Cloudbanks? We're at Labs D. Only white noise filled my ear. I could hear some pony talking, but nothing that I could make out. I turned off the broadcaster. Looking down at the door below me, I knew it was already too late to turn back. The option of taking the elevator up raged in the front of my mind. It's not a bad idea. It'd be hard for Thorn to climb her way back up. Make Labs D her tomb. It's never that easy. I jumped down into the elevator, the rappelling tool keeping my descent slow and safe.